These friggin' magas, have you ever noticed that they all seem to share a physical characteristic, a look? I don't even know if that's the right way to put it. It's an outward manifestation of their inner self that affects the way they appear to the world. At least I think so. I'll give you a good example. Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary. Now, this is a young, beautiful woman, or at least I think she would be a beautiful woman, except for the fact that she is such a nasty person. The reason why I'm bringing this up is she's in the news right now because a a, a woman with a connection to her family has been arrested by ICE. Let me see if I get this right. It is the woman. Her name is Bruna Ferreira, and she has an 11-year-old son with Michael Leavitt, which is Karoline Leavitt's brother. So this woman is Karoline Leavitt's brother's baby mama. So that's the connection. And this person was arrested by ICE. She migrated with her family to the United States from Brazil as a child and is currently at an ICE facility in southern Louisiana. So that's why she's in the news right now. I'm not going to really talk much about that. There's obviously commentary to be made there, but I think it's all pretty obvious, so I'm not gonna bother. But in one of these articles that I was reading about this, came across this picture. There was a link to an article. I think I saw this maybe on Drudge. Anyway, this picture of Karoline Leavitt, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, you know, she should be a beautiful woman, but she's not. There's something about her that makes her ugly. And it's hate. It's the hatred that she has inside of her, which she spews forth on a daily basis. And whenever she talks, they talk about happy warriors, you know, and we have had press secretaries, keeping it on press secretaries here for a minute. We've had press secretaries from both parties who you can sort of describe as happy warriors because they go in there, the press briefing room, and they are there to be the spokesperson for the president, to defend the president. Oftentimes there's an adversarial relationship with the press. Not so much anymore because they have pretty much banned everyone from the White House press corps who would ask any difficult questions. And there are literally just MAGA online shit posting trolls pretending to be journalists who are now in the White House press corps. People who just, a year ago were literally just shit posters on Twitter now have credentials as part of the White House press corps. But typically, in the past, when there were actually serious people in the White House press corps who would ask serious questions, oftentimes they were difficult questions. And there was oftentimes a combative nature back and forth between the White House press secretary and the members of the press. But many of them, the good ones especially, had sort of a happy warrior vibe about them. They sparred. They understood, look, I got a job, you have a job. I'm here to defend the president, to be his spokesperson. You're here to ask tough questions. We all understand what our role is. There's nothing personal here. I'm not shooting daggers at you when I'm looking at you and you're asking me a tough question. And answer your question. I might not answer it directly. I might, do the weave, so to speak, or do the typical political talk, give you sort of a non-answer answer, or I might jab back at you a little bit, but it's all done in good spirit. You know, we're not really enemies. We're here for our different purposes. And they did it with a smile on their face, right? And those were the good ones. Because if you're going to be an effective spokesperson for the president, it helps if you're well liked. You're taken seriously and you're well liked. You go up there, you're just an asshole. That's not really the best. You're not really serving the president that well, at least in my opinion. Anyway, so Karoline Leavitt, this is just a nasty woman. Never happy, always angry, always contemptuous, just saying the most vile, nasty, untrue things. I mean, nothing true ever comes out of this woman's face. And, it's obviously normal for a White House press secretary to try to avoid answering direct questions if it's not a question you want to answer, and so you're evasive. You play all those games. That's one thing. Karoline Leavitt is just an outright in your face liar. She doesn't care. And I mean, in that sense, she's a perfect spokesperson for Donald Trump because she's really accurately representing him to the American people. So, in a way, she's the perfect press secretary for Donald Trump. But I know this is shallow, but my commentary here is about her looks. Because as I say, she has all the attributes of a beautiful woman. I think we can all see that. But for some reason, she's just not. And it's the hatred. She's filled, she's consumed by hate, as most of these magas are. And it affects the way she looks outwardly. I mean, hate, that level of hate, just makes you ugly. It makes you ugly on the inside and on the outside. You can't hide it. When you are that fully consumed by hate, it overtakes you completely. You don't even look like the same person. Imagine if take this picture. Imagine if that was a happy person. Imagine if that was a good-natured person. Up there, having fun in her job, appreciating the fact that she is the press secretary for the President of the United States. And she gets to do that. Imagine if she was filled with a sense of awe for the position that she's been lucky enough to be put into. Imagine if she was just filled with pride and respect and happiness and joy in the position that she had. She would look completely different than she does. But she's just seething. She's just filled with hate. She's a nasty woman. And it affects the way she looks. So, she should be a beautiful woman, but she's not. And that goes for so many of these magas. It's not just her. You see it with so many of them. They talk about Mar-a-Lago face. These people, and it's not just women. It's probably predominantly women, but it's not just women. There's guys who've done the same damn thing where they get all this work on their face, and they always have this same sort of look. I don't know what it is, but they call it Mar-a-Lago face. But it's these people who have, plastic surgery and other kind of work done on their faces. They look so ridiculous. You got Laura Loomer, you got Kristi Noem. I mean, that woman is unrecognizable from what she used to look like. And you could tell, and it's not just, if we do Kristi Noem, it's not just the Mar-a-Lago face. It's also the same thing as is affecting Karoline Leavitt. It's the hatred. You know, she has physically altered her face and her hair and everything, but it's beyond that for her. Since MAGA has come into this country, infected these people, it's MAGA. It's the whole attitude behind MAGA that infects these people and warps their appearance. So for Kristi Noem, it's beyond the hairdo change. It's beyond whatever work she's had done on her face. It's the hate. Same with Karoline Leavitt, that has changed the way she looked. But so you got the Mar-a-Lago face where they physically change their appearance. But I think there's this MAGA face that affects people whether they've had work done to alter themselves physically or not. Like Karoline Leavitt. Doesn't appear that she's had any work done, but she doesn't look the same, I'm sure. Like if we were to see pictures before she came into Trump's orbit, if she were a happy person, she would look completely different than she does today. Is it just me? Or do you guys think the same thing? And it's not just these public figures that we can point to. Look at people in your life that you know. I mean, people who are just miserable, just angry, miserable, hateful sacks of shit. They have a look about them. Just makes them ugly. That's what MAGA does to you. It destroys your soul. It twists you. MAGA is all about hate. I mean, what unites these people? They're not a political party anymore. The Republican Party is not a political party anymore. They don't even really pretend to be. I mean, they're a political party in the sense that they nominate candidates to run for office and that kind of thing. But in terms of what they stand for, it's not a traditional political party anymore. They have literally abandoned their party platform. They said, you know what, we're not going to do a party platform anymore where we list the principles that unite us as a party, that we explain our values, and we list the issues and our positions on the issues. We're not doing that anymore. They literally adopted the platform to say, our party stands for whatever Donald Trump wants. That's literally the Republican Party platform. I'm not making that up. That's not a political party. That is a personality cult. So they've abandoned being a political party in favor of becoming a personality cult. And so the only thing that unites them is Donald Trump, really. And that's all falling apart now. It's beginning to, and it's going to get worse for them. But beyond Donald Trump, really the only thing, because issues don't unite them anymore. They don't even pretend that issues unite them anymore. Principles don't. They don't have any principles. They said we're not going to do principles anymore. I mean, so it's none of those things that typically unite a political party. So what is it besides mindless devotion to Donald Trump? Well, when you boil it all down, hate. That's really the only thing that unites them. Now they hate a lot of the same people and a lot of the same groups and a lot of the same things, and so they're united in that way. But they don't hate all the same things. Some groups hate different things and different people in different groups more than others. So, anyway, I don't want to get too far into that. But the point is, really, it's hate. Hate is the one thing that definitely unites them all. And it's overtaken them. And you've seen it in your own life, a lot of you, where people who you used to have a completely different relationship with, and that's the thing about MAGA. This hateful movement has literally destroyed relationships. It's it's really obvious, is brought to the fore especially during the holidays, right? Thanksgiving is tomorrow. How many people are not going to be spending Thanksgiving with members of their family who they used to spend Thanksgiving with? And they don't because of Donald Trump and MAGA. It has literally destroyed relationships and broken apart families. Why? Because these people who have become MAGA have become so consumed by hate. They've been wrapped up in a cult of personality and they have been consumed by hate. That's what unites them. And that's what gives them all this MAGA face. And it's just, it's sad. It's really sad. I mean, it's sad. I'm sad for those people in a way. It's hard to have sympathy for these people because they've all chosen this. And they want to be that way. But, you see what they've become. And so maybe you take pity on them a little bit. But it's really sad for all the people who just see what has become of their loved ones and what it's done to their relationships. Anyway, um, I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll talk to you again soon.